Hey guys, Coach Dale Sanford here. Welcome to Edmond Orgold Park, Casper Lake, Millington, Tennessee, and the home of the Memphis and May Triathlon series. Memphis and May is one of the oldest running triathlons in the country, and it's been going on for over 30 years. And it's back in Millington after a short stint in Tunica, Mississippi. So really what I want to do is I want to take you through the sprint distance course so that we can give you some tips and pointers and things to watch out for and hopefully better prepare you for the race. I wanted to start by giving you a few tips about the sprint course before we go breaking down the legs into their individual pieces. So one, the swim is a little bit long. It's 586 yards, so just be prepared for that. The bike is 12 miles on the dot, give or take your GPS. The bike is flat and fast. The run is 3 miles, so a little bit less than 5K, and part of it is actually on grass. So at one point you will turn off the park road onto a mowed path, and you'll see that, and they'll be marked. One thing to know about the sprint course, there is zero shade. I repeat, zero shade, so just be prepared to battle the heat if it shows up. So now let's move on to the different parts of the course. So the transition area is going to take up about half the parking lot. Now, I've drawn a map of the transition area so you can see where the swim in and run out is on the side closest to the boat ramp, and then the bike in and out is on the opposite side closest to the entrance and exit of the parking lot itself. One thing you need to note is that upon exiting the transition area for the run, you have to bend around the outside of the transition fencing and head back toward the road along the fence and then run up the grass hill to the road as you head out. So the swim start and finish is going to be at the boat ramp at the end of the parking lot. We're going to line up one at a time. It's going to be a time trial start, people heading out about every 3 to 5 seconds. There's only 2 turns. It's a triangle shape. When you head out to turn 1, there's going to be plenty of things on the shoreline for you to sight off of. One of the great things is once you take turn 1 heading toward turn 2, there's a big giant concrete structure in the water that you can sight off of. It's a great point of reference. After you take turn 2, coming back in, you've got the boat ramp as well as usually a big blow-up archway to sight off of. That's about it. There's not a whole lot to it, so let's move on to the bike course. So the bike course is blazing fast. There is not a whole lot going on as far as vertical goes on the course. The one thing that can slow you down a little bit is the wind. It's a little unpredictable up there, and just be prepared to have headwind, tailwind, and crosswind at some point on the course. Now the course is an out and back with a small loop at the very farthest end of the course. It's about 12 miles, but be prepared for it to be a little bit short or a little bit long depending on your GPS. Now, one thing to be careful of are the roads going in and out of the park. There's a few potholes and a little bit of gravel, especially in some turns, so just be cautious of that. Now, when you're out on course, there is one main thing to be concerned about, and that's a hard right bend going out, which is a hard left bend coming back in. You're going to be coming straight on into it, and it's on College Center Road, and it's a hard right bend, a little bit off camber and a little bumpy, so I would suggest getting out of aero for that just for a second, just to be safe. On that same road, a little bit after the bend, there is a bad patch of blacktop that could also cause you problems. You can likely avoid it and stay in aero, but just have your head up looking for it, because if you hit it, it could definitely throw you off. Other than that, there's not a whole lot to know about the bike course. Again, flat, fast, there's probably going to be some wind, and there's a few little spots in the road. So with that, let's move on to the run course. So the run course can be considered pretty rolling to you flatlanders out there. It may be no big deal to you guys who are used to running hills. But one thing you want to make sure is that as you're leaving the transition area in T2, you're actually going out the swim in, and you're going to bend around the transition area and then run the fencing down the end of the parking lot and then up the grass hill to the park road. Now, once you're on the park road, watch your footing. There are a lot of bad patches in the road, so just be careful. Now, the park road itself is pretty rolling. There's a couple of little punchy hills that probably won't be very pleasant. But once you get toward the end of the park road, you're going to take a right and go up the grass hill, and then you're going to follow the mowed path toward the water tower. Now, once you're through the mowed path, you're going to come back out on the road. You'll take a left, and then you're going to take another left onto Mudville Road, and it's going to bring you back toward the park. Now, once you're toward the park, you're going to take another left, and you can come back in the park, and you're going to be right back on those park roads with the patchy concrete. So just be careful. When you're coming back in, you're just repeating what you did on the way out, except there's going to be a point where you're going to take a right-hand bend onto the levee. Once you're on the levee, you're home free. Okay, this is the finish line. The finish line is at the end of the levee. So crank it up and finish strong. Hey guys, thanks for watching the course preview. We hope you picked up some good tips, and we hope to see you out there. And as always, trust your training.